It's the queen from Queens with the money when it matters for you and I.
It's the queen from Queens with money when it matters for you and I. Boom, boom, boom. It's the queen from Queens with money when it matters for you and me. Yes, I know I can't sing, but I love my theme song. I gotta tell you, every morning that I go out and I work out, it was 33 degrees today when I went out for my walk/run. I'm not really a runner, but I know I have to do something at least 3 to 4 times a week, so I get out there and I get my hour in at a time. It was brisk, it was cold, but I got it done. So I listen to my theme song, It's the Queen from Queens, as I go up and down. So I want to thank P. Scott Productions for doing that song for me. It is my jam. I love it, I love it, I love it. But this is our show. This is Money Minutes That Matters, and I'm your girl Paula, the Queen from Queens. On this show, you and I become accountability buddies. We are accountable to each other for our growth, for our wealth, and for our health. I'm a nurse anesthetist. I am a registered nurse licensed to give anesthesia, and I gotta thank all of the frontline workers. We are being pummeled. COVID-19 is taking a toll on us physically, mentally, psychologically. Just seeing the patients coming in struggling, seeing them gasping for air, trying to catch a breath. It's no joke. Last week we passed 4,000 deaths in the United States in one day. Tens of millions of Americans still don't have jobs. We're still out there. My church, thank God for Kingdom Fellowship, AME Church in Silver Springs, Maryland. We are out there every Saturday serving people who need a box of perishables and a box of non-perishables. We're helping the community as best we can. I love you. I love people. God has enabled us to do this thing together. On this show, we're bringing back previous callers. Why is that important? Because we need to know what we did right, what we did wrong, and how to fix it for next. We talked to a lady sometime in the past, and she was older. She was in her 70s. She wanted to do a reverse mortgage so that she could live. We also talked to some people who wanted to get out of debt. Let's see what's working. This is our show. It's primarily sponsored by EAJ1023radio.com. I'm reading Susie Orman's The Ultimate Retirement Guide for 50 Plus. Let's dive into that. We are reading Susie Orman's Ultimate Retirement Guide for 50 Plus. I love Susie. I've always loved Susie. I listened to Susie since I was in college. She had the Susie Orman show. I think it was MSNBC. Love her advice. She's witty, she's strong, and she gives it to you. But we can't read this book chapter by chapter. We read the first 2 chapters within the last 2 sessions. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to start combining 2 chapters at a time. That way we can get through it, because I have a plethora of books in my library that I want to share with you. So in her Ultimate Retirement Guide, Chapter 3, it says, making the most of the working years. Stop spending. Hello, stop spending. We're going to talk to a caller today who put herself on a 90-day spending diet. She says, while you may be focused on the need to save more for retirement, I am most concerned that you pay off all of your debts before you retire. Those sound like my words. Let's move from being in debt to debt-free to maximizing our retirement future. Hey, Susie, we got some things in common. She says, I know many of you there also have credit cards and car payments lurking. Living within your means leaves you with more money to put towards financial goals. But it will also make your life easier in retirement. If you can reduce your monthly spending by $500 to $1,000 a month today, that's $500 to $1,000 a month you won't need to generate in retirement. Spending less today reduces your retirement overhead. Not exactly punishment when you think about the long-term payoffs. Then she also mentions we need to consider purchasing long-term care insurance. Purchase the policy now. So here are some bullet points that she discusses in her chapter, and I'm going to summarize them for you. The movement to make during your working years. Prioritize paying off all debts before you retire. Embrace living below your means. She says if you have children in high school and you're considering their college, encourage them to make the right college choices. She said if you are not properly prepared for your retirement, then you cannot pay off their college expenses. She says car loan costs. Consider the cost of how much it costs you to drive a car. Driving a Honda, a Ford, is not the cost of driving a Mercedes necessarily. Do you need a Mercedes at 60, 70 years old? She also says, consider downsizing your home. Save more for retirement in the right accounts. She's talking about Roth 401ks, Roth IRAs. The reason why I love them, and I'm sure Susie too, is because the money you put in now is post-tax dollars. So the maximum you can put in if you're under 50 is $6,000 a year. If you're over 50, you can put in $7,000 a year, but that money will grow for you leaps and bounds. 10, 20 years later, when you have to use that money, it's not re-taxed. So if you put in $6,000, it sits there for 30 years, 10% interest, and that $6,000 becomes $200,000. That's your money in its entirety. The deal is in 2021, the government has increased your income maximums. So if you make between $125,000 to $140,000 a year, you can still invest in your Roth IRA. If you're married filing joint and you make between $198,000 to $208,000, you can still contribute to the Roth IRAs. Yay! If you have a Roth 401k, then your income is not a consideration. She also says plan to work longer. This will allow you to increase your retirement money and increase your potential for growth. She also say stay relevant on your job. As you guys know, I'm a nurse anesthetist. Every 10 years or so, we get new anesthesia machines. So it's a whole different technology, different working. Now everybody is doing computerized electronic medical records. So those change from facility to facility. I need to be in a position where I'm not intimidated by technology, but I'm staying relevant so I can keep my job and feed my family. She says consider long-term care insurance. We don't want to burden our children. We talk about that. And I personally believe children don't ask to come here. So we are not their responsibility to take care of. She says, consider how much it's going to cost you to live. In healthcare, we talk about ADLs, activities of daily living. Someone to help provide your foods, someone to help bathe you. You may need assistance in your home. You have to be in a position where you can provide for that. She also says, focus on purchasing long-term care insurance in your 50s and in your 60s. Chapter 4, she talks about where you live and aging in place. You need to know for sure that staying put is going to work for you in the long term, financially, physically, and emotionally. Can I make it up a flight of steep stairs when I'm 70 years old and arthritis may kick in, or you are using a walker or a wheelchair? Will your steps be accessible to you and your needs as you age? She says, if you are intent on not moving, I insist, and you guys know Susie, she insists that you make paying off your mortgage before retirement a priority. Another consideration is if you intend to stay in your home is to tackle remodeling work today that will accommodate the needs of your older version of you. Reducing housing costs. If you have yet to retire, reducing your housing costs in the near future will give you more cash right now to put towards your retirement goals. Maybe more saving for retirement, maybe paying off some lingering debts. So here are the bullet points for this chapter. The moves to make to decide where to live. If you plan to stay put, pay off your mortgage before you retire, be able to pay your essential living costs. That's taxes and insurance. Although you pay off your mortgage, you still got to pay taxes and insurance. Can you afford a new HVAC system? Can you afford to do household repairs and maintenance, have a new roof put on? What that says is, I had a friend I was talking to, her house is 70 years old. A pipe burst behind her walls. It cost her $4,500. Do you have that kind of money in retirement? Or can you start saving for that maintenance package now so that it doesn't impact your stationary retirement monies that you have coming in? Consider whether your home will be socially isolating at 80 plus. Think through whether your home will be physically challenging for an older you and your friends. If you are considering moving, do the math on the upside of financially downsizing. My son in Charlotte, North Carolina has been looking for houses for the last couple of months. He's putting in money, he's putting in bids above the asking price, but guess what? He's being outbidded. This is a seller's market. So if you're considering selling, sell now. Look at the case of moving now, she says. Consider making it a family-friendly decision. Notes that I made to myself. How much money will you be bringing in retirement? What's the annuities that you'll be bringing in addition? This is our girl, Susie. I love her. We've gotten through chapters 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now let's get back to the show. We have Helen back on the line from Atlanta, Georgia. Hey, Helen, how's the ATL going?
It's going well. If everybody could just stay inside.
Oh, you people are COVID people. You don't wear masks, huh?
They do not wear masks. No, they do not. And they still party. We need a snowstorm to sit everyone down.
No. Helen, you said they still party?
Yes, they're still partying.
It's not illegal?
It's not here. Mm-mm.
Whoa. Your mayor is always on the news saying, lock it down, put on a mask, no large gatherings. What's up with that?
Yes, our mayor, but our governor does not care. So our governor tells us once it's almost like when mommy says no, then daddy turns around and says yes.
So this is the
what we're dealing with here.
This is the same governor who stole the election from Stacey Abrams.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. But now, thank you, Atlanta. You won the Senate for us. Thank you.
You're welcome. It was our pleasure.
So, Helen, I remember you so clearly, and I'll tell you why. One, we worked on the show, and then behind the scenes, you and I spent about 2 or 3 hours together on a Zoom session. Remember that?
Yes.
Okay, so let's catch up the audience. Tell me what happened before the call with me and what happened after we met.
So before the call, I was enrolled in school, putting myself into more debt for my master's, as well as trying to figure out how to stop spending so much, and I had like trips planned and things and such like that. Now I have unenrolled from school. I am now on a 90-day shopping fast. I'm trying to make it the whole year, but baby steps. But a 90-day shopping fast, only gathering things that I actually need. So like my groceries and household things. And currently the only trip that I have planned is technically already paid for. So I think I'm starting off pretty well.
Okay. And I believe you mentioned to me before that you and your sister are now working a plan together.
Yes. So we hold each other accountable. When she thinks about buying something, she runs it by me and vice versa. And we kind of rationalize if the item is a need, a want, or a need want.
I've never heard of a need want. What does that mean?
So a need want is, let's say you say that you necessarily need a new wallet. So it may be true that you do need a new wallet because maybe your wallet is torn to shreds, but the wallet that you may be looking at may be pretty high in price. So I call that a need one, because just because you need a wallet doesn't mean that you need to get the one that's the highest in the store.
Yes. So I call those desires, but I love that. Want, need one. So great. Okay. So tell me about your progress. So you're no longer getting your master's degree. And if I remember correctly, you already had undergraduate debt that you were working on, correct?
Yes.
So you decided not to get your master's. Why so?
Because it was just more debt, and instead what I have decided to do is find other ways to gain that experience. So I've just been kind of looking into internships, people that I may know that are in the field that I'm trying to go into, just trying to get some mentoring experience from them. And so my son's godmother is actually kind of working for a firm, because what I was trying to do is public relations. So she's actually working for a firm. So every chance I get that she has available, I try to just kind of get her to mentor me to get into that field without actually paying a school for that same knowledge.
I love this. Now, what does a 90-day fast entail?
So basically, I'm not shopping regardless of how good a sale is, and please believe me, it has been terribly hard because at the beginning of the year everyone is having a sale because they are trying to get rid of winter stuff so they can get spring stuff in there, and I get emails all day, every day. So I have officially unsubscribed from a lot of people. And I've also stopped my email notifications so that I would have to actually go to my email to even know if I got an email about a sale or anything like that. So like I said, just kind of just staying out the stores and just staying focused on the things that I actually need. And as it stands, I don't need much because I've already kind of replenished my toiletries. I've done my grocery shopping. So there's no reason for me to be in anybody's store for at least the next week or two. But even still, just still focusing on just going to a grocery store. So instead of going to Walmart for my groceries, where I can get distracted by the other stuff that Walmart may have, like the Christmas decorations that I so adore, I just try to go directly to a grocery store and things and such like that. And again, I'm starting that out baby steps, 90 days to see if I can make it through the 90 days. They say if you do something for 21 days, you can break a habit. So we're trying this out and kind of just seeing where I go from there.
Helen, can I tell you that I love you? I honestly do.
I love you too.
Oh my gosh. You are, I'm telling you, when I spoke to you about 5 or 6 months ago, you were wringing my hands. You were telling me, no, I can't. I got to go to school. I got to get my master's. I said, but you already have $100,000 in debt already. But I know my master's will help me. And for me, it was like going up against a wall.
Yes.
And I remember we were diving into that budget of yours. We kept writing it out and erasing some things. And wow. I salute you. I applaud you. I thank you for listening.
Yes, no problem.
I have
really helped me a lot.
No, I'm glad. Thank you for saying that. I have a quick question for you, though. Tell me, what were you willing to sacrifice to achieve your goals?
Oh my goodness, my shopping. I am the first to admit that I am a shopaholic. So my shopping was definitely one of them. And it did not help that last year the government was sending us lots and lots of money. So many of us felt rich. But I literally, like I said, I just had to come to a realization that this is temporary, and I started thinking more so back to just my normal paychecks, and that's what helped me a lot. But yeah, like that was the major sacrifice. My shopping, the second sacrifice was, the schooling and me thinking that I had to go to school in order to advance my career. Instead, like I said, I'm just trying to take other measures. I'm also currently, if any of your listeners are listening that are in HR, I'm looking for a company that perhaps has tuition assistance so that if I do decide to go back that route, that I can at least get it paid for through my job. So those are the two major sacrifices that I have made.
Helen, you are a jewel in my crown. Thank you for calling. Are you coming to my conference? Whoa!
I certainly am. In February, yes, I brought my ticket the other day.
You got your ticket? Woohoo! I can't wait to see you. I have millionaires on the front of the stage talking to you as a future millionaire. You don't want to miss it.
Yes.
We have Lizette from the Bronx, the boogie down on the line. Hey, Lizette.
Hey, Paula, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm hanging in there, girl, with everything going on.
There's a lot going on, my God.
There is.
So thank you for being a callback guest on my show. So I think we were talking about you downsizing and moving out. What did you and your husband decide to do?
Yeah, that's right. The last time we spoke, we were trying to figure out whether or not we wanted to downsize because our kids are older. But, with everything going on over these last, 9 to 10 months, we ended up saving a lot of money. We were able to, we were debt-free before when I spoke to you on the last time. But even this time, with the fact that we're working from home, we were able to save quite a bit. And now we're at a point where we've decided, let's renovate. You know what? Let's do that. We've been in this house for a while. We love it. And rather than sell, we're renovating. We're going to renovate the kitchen and we're going to renovate some bathrooms and just really do that instead and see where it takes us. But we're grateful to God for the fact that we've been able to save. It's just been amazing.
It is amazing. And you don't recognize COVID is horrific. The fact is, last week we surpassed 4,000 people dying in one day. I was just watching, and being a healthcare professional, I was just watching and seeing that Los Angeles is being overrun by COVID.
Yeah, it is just awful and heartbreaking. I mean, they actually have to make some decisions, I think, with who, gets treatment and who doesn't. So this is just a terrible, terrible, terrible thing. But, but I guess again, I don't want to say a benefit, there's no benefit to what's going on, but in a certain way, some of us are able to put some money away, and also give, giving away and feeding those that really need, because that's been a terrible thing that's also happened now, is there's so many people hungry and food insecure.
You're right. And, you're absolutely correct. There are no goods. Well, there are some goods, and some of the things with COVID, people are not traveling. You said you're working from home now, so you're saving on gas, you're saving on lunch, you're saving on clothing and all those other things that comes with working outside of your home, and you were able to smartly save. You didn't decide to go on shopping sprees and buy everything up on Amazon?
No. I bought a little bit. Can't say that I didn't buy some stuff around the holidays, but definitely not often, and again, saving money because you're cooking, we're all getting a little fatigued with that, but then you look up different recipes and make something different and new, and you get back into it and eating healthier. So all of that is, how you're able to save. I don't fill up my gas tank because I'm hardly leaving the house.
Sure.
Again, saving on food because we're eating home all the time instead of eating out. And you just realize how much you actually end up continuing to keep in your pocket because you're not, out and about.
Yeah, absolutely. So you and hubby decided that you're going to stay in your home.
Yes, we've made that decision for now, that we're deciding that we're not going to look to sell, and we instead look to just renovate, the house and just, fix up the kitchen, fix up the bathrooms. And at some point, if we decide to sell, at least maybe we'll get even top dollar because we've now renovated our home.
Sure.
And if we don't, then we'll get to enjoy our house, the way that we wanted it. So
I agree with you 100%. So, Miss Lizette, the question of the day is, what are you willing to sacrifice to achieve your goals?
Willing to sacrifice. Basically, things that my husband and I are looking to do together is obviously exercise more together, eat healthy, and also we're praying together. That's something that we're really started doing since the start of the year, and really just again, keep making sure that we're putting that money away and paying our bills on time, and making sure that we tithe and we do give, but also just banking what we need so that we can achieve the goal of renovating this house that we want to do. Renovating the kitchen, renovating the bathrooms, being able to give our kids, our grown kids, help them out when they need to be helped. My daughter has a student loan that I'm trying to help her finish and pay off. So that's basically what we're doing. We're just really just trying to stay the course and continuing to build our wealth.
Well, Lizette, I love everything that you're saying, and I'm proud of you, and I want to thank you for being a callback, because people need to recognize that small incremental steps achieve big goals and big dreams. So thank you so much for calling. We have Miss Malcolm back from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Hey, Miss Malcolm, how's the Sunshine State?
Well, it's beautiful. The site is good, but it's 50 degrees Fahrenheit out here.
I'm 32 degrees. I just came from a walk run. I just did a 3-mile walk run up and down hills. It was cold.
I can imagine. But you're born so young. You're accustomed to that. I am older.
That is true. I'm a New Yorker, so my weather now is kind of mild. So yes, ma'am.
That's right.
Happy New Year to you. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. I was just doing some exercise.
Good for you. That's how you stay young. So how young are you, Miss Malcolm?
I am 78 years young.
I love that. I love that. So the last time we talked, you were considering doing a reverse mortgage because you were living on your Social Security income, and you said it wasn't enough to go on vacation. Where are you now, my friend?
Oh, I've heard so many stories about reverse mortgage. So I hired a realtor and I sold my townhouse and I bought myself a beautiful condo in Inverary.
Wow. So a condo
And
must be nice.
I had money left over that I could for my retirement.
That's beautiful. So now you have money for vacationing.
Oh, yes.
So how was the process of selling your townhouse? How long were you living in your townhouse?
27 years, don't remind me.
27 years. And did you pay it off completely?
Oh, yeah, about 10 years ago.
Good girl. So you got to enjoy that. You sold it, you made money, you bought a condo. Is it a retirement community that you live in?
Yes.
Okay, beautiful. And what are some of your amenities, ma'am?
Well, I don't have a water bill anymore.
No water bill. Okay. What else do you have that you enjoy?
I have a nice pool and an exercise room.
And are you using them?
And clubhouse where I, do things.
Good girl. So are you happy?
Yes. Yes.
And that's all that matters. And when COVID is all over, where are you going on your first vacation?
On a cruise.
Well, ma'am, if you're going somewhere warm, I just may join you, okay? I love working with you guys. This show is telling me that I'm doing the right thing by sitting in this chair. This is not my show. This is our show. This show is primarily sponsored by EAJ1023radio.com. I have a segment on there on the One Man, One Mic show every Saturday at 5 p.m. You don't want to miss that. The music is amazing. In addition to that, I am hosting my first financial empowerment seminar. I have some major players on the stage, and as well as I have major players behind the scenes making sure everything is working well. It's going to be a great show. This is our year. This is our time. And for that reason, I want you to join. Registration is open on eventbrite.com. Just type in the title. But have you heard? No. Have you heard? I heard. Let's let you hear.
Have you heard?
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 Are you financially hungry? February 20th, 2021, we're hosting a free financial empowerment seminar. We're going to teach you how to get your piece of the money pie.
¿Has oído?
¿Has oído?
Hosted by Robert's Target's Financials.
So tell me, what do you think? You see how that pizza pie, I'm from New York, we make the best pizza. You see how that pizza pie formed? That was created by Dre Drizzle. This young man is so phenomenal. He worked for EA Sports at one point, so he can make anything happen. So that's my first commercial. You'll see it all over social media. The second commercial that he's working on for us talks about my life. It talks about the fact that I was born in New York City, that I bought my first house when I was 30, and then I bought a lot. I built the home of my dreams, and I'm going to teach you how you can do the same. That's what our seminar is going to be about, how to empower you, your community, your family, your church, whatever's important to you. Remember, faith conquers fear. This show has been going on for me for almost a year now. When I walked into this, I had so much trepidation, but I did it afraid. And you can do it too. All things are possible. Remember, I love you and have an amazing day. It's the Queen from Queens with Money Minutes Matters for you and I. Ba-dum-bum-bum.
It's the Queen from
Robert's Target's Financial is not a certified professional service of finances, brokers, accountants, taxes, insurance, or legal. We research the advice that is given to provide the most accurate, up-to-date information. This information is designed to work in conjunction with your information. All information is suggestions. We recommend that you consult with a trusted licensed professional for your specific decisions. All information is for general purposes. We are not liable for any losses or gains. We accept no responsibility for any decisions made after participating on or from listening to the show or from Robert's Target's Financial. If you like this episode, hit the subscribe button.
Queens with the money.